So in this video, we're going to share about the different addresses when it comes to creating an LLC, a corporation, or maybe you do have one and you just want to know what are these three addresses, which address do I put where. There's the three ones, which is the registered agent address, the principal place of business, and the mailing address. The registered agent address is the address that you're actually supposed to get legal notices. Maybe you get sued, maybe the state sends you something. It goes to that registered agent address. You need to have it. It can be you. I haven't heard many smart people recommend that it's ever yourself. Lawyers never recommend for you to be your own registered agent. There's a lot of restrictions. You have to be there 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, to receive documents. Not everyone is. So the principal office location is the main operation location for the business. Some people have LLCs that are in another state. A lot of times people do real estate where they have an LLC surrounding a given piece of real estate. So the principal place of business could be in another state, so that doesn't really matter. But if you're really doing business, getting taxed in a certain state, meaning you're in Wyoming, Nevada, Tennessee, Florida, Texas, to avoid state tax, then you would probably make the principal place of operations in that state. So you'd get a mailbox for that state, or you'd actually have a real address in that state. Remember, the mailing address, it really doesn't matter where that is. It's just a general mailing address. So I'm going to show you where you can find all of these. So if you go onto any Secretary of State website, say we search EAT, it shows you all of these different LLCs, corporations that are in, this is for example, Wyoming. So if we were to open EAT China LLC, it sees active good standing, shows you when it was filed. Let's click on that. So this shows you just a little bit about the name, the filing ID. This is also good for you to know when you start filling out all this information for filing your LLC or your C Corp. This is all the information that's out there. So principal office. So we see that their principal office is in Sheridan, Wyoming, which is a mailing address, which is just like a mailbox service. This is also their mailing address. They use the same thing for principal and mailing. They use this address for the registered agent as well. It's the same address. So it doesn't always work out like this. Remember, it tells you what you've paid, public notes, parties. It actually tells you who is the party. Not always do these show that. So let's go to another one that's active and in good standing. See, this is a one that has just a bunch of different companies. Each one of these is probably like a different fast food chain. Let's get out of EAT and go to Fast or something. Fast Acquisitions in good standing since 2022. All right, so 30 North Gold. Okay, so you can see that they're in Casper, Wyoming. Their principal place of address is here, and their registered agent is also in the same address. Remember, they pay for a service where the registered agent receives mail, scans, copies, and sends it to them. So it's not always that way. But I did want to show you that. Okay, regarding all the different mailbox services, I've been going through this for hours, and I think I found the best three, but by the time I actually go through all of them, talk to support and talk to the actual reps, I'll find out the best one. Check the link in the description, but I'm going to show you my top three as of right now. This is Post Scan Mail. I think it's a great one. I usually like to start on Trustpilot, shows some good reviews. A lot of these, if you search like mailbox service, a lot of them have horrible reviews on Trustpilot, not these guys. So it goes from $10 a month to $20. They have a bunch of different addresses. You have to pay per scan and open for these guys, but at least there's an actual app where you get to see what the mail is by the outside. You tell them to open it and scan it. Maybe cost a couple bucks. Or you can do this one. Or this one. The benefit of this one is they actually have a registered agent kind of built into the system. So you could use a single mailbox for all three mail addresses that you actually need, which is actually really cool. Alright, this is another one. Snap Mailbox. High ratings, good customer service. Here are their pricing. I'd say they also have some fairly cheap pricing. They actually do opens and scans for $5. The thing I've noticed about these guys is they actually use a actual post office. So if you care about legitimacy, they actually, if you search up the address, it is a post office. It's not a P.O. box, but it is a post office. And these, they just do Wyoming. They have one location in Wyoming. It's that 30 Gold Street that everyone uses. So that is a little annoying that everyone uses 30 or 32 Gold Street, because two of the biggest companies actually use that, Northwestern and this agent service and another agent service. So just know that it's super cheap agent service, but to do their actual mail, it's relatively cheap. it's $50 a year, but you only get 10 scans. These guys don't have reviews, so I'm not so sure, but you get on your portal, I guess. I'm still talking to them, but maybe you get a little preview of what the mail is, and you can say yes or no, and they filter your junk too. So this is another pretty reasonable option. And also, for $25, you also get a registered agent per year. So that's another added bonus of these guys. So yeah, check them out and check the link in the description for the winner. Let's get back to a little bit more about these different details. The requirements. This is very important. You go to Wyoming Registered Agent, and then you have to make sure that your registered agent has a physical address in Wyoming. Obviously, if you get a registered agent, they will have that. They can't be a P.O. box, but if you pay for one, they'll have it. All right, this one right here, the physical address. It has to be a physical address, can't be a P.O. box. It can be out of state, but normally if you have a company, you probably keep it in state by buying one of those mailboxes. And then this one can just be anywhere. All right. So as I said earlier, this is to receive, process, if you get sued, if the Secretary of State needs to send you something important, you can go right here. And then this is just general main place of business. This usually goes on your tax filing, your LLC or C Corp registration, where you have your EIN number, and it's just the general address. You can make these two the same. And on to locations allowed. So here I have it as must be in Wyoming. If you have a LLC or a C Corp return to make in Wyoming, it must be in Wyoming. So what I mean by that is it has to be in the state where you formed the LLC or the corporation. So California's got to be in California, Florida's got to be in Florida, Nevada's got to be in Nevada. So that's why you type in, Florida registered agent, you get a bunch of options, Wyoming registered agent, bunch of options. So just know that it's got to be in the actual state where you did the entity formation. Also, the principal office address can be anywhere, but it's probably good. I'm no lawyer or accountant, but it's probably good in the same place you are trying to get tax residency. And then the final one is mailing address. That can just be anywhere, not too important. Maybe to make your life a little easier, principal address and mailing address can be the same. In terms of P.O. box, no P.O. box here, no P.O. box here. You can do a P.O. box here. But these days, no one uses P.O. boxes. You use those virtual mailing services. No one wants to go pick up mail and process it, especially if you can get it for $110. With that being said, you now know the gist of the 3 different types of mailboxes for registered agent, principal, office place, and then mailing address. To keep it easy, ask a lawyer or an accountant. I'm neither of those, but sometimes if you get a virtual mailbox, it can be both your principal office address and your mailing box. And then you just get a registered agent for between $50 and $150 per month. Check the link in the description for that. Also, if you have not signed up for FinCEN and registered your beneficial owners for the Corporate Transparency Act, you got to do it. Check below in the description for a quiz to see if you even have to worry about that. They're charging $500 a day if you don't follow that. So, just a heads up on that. If you have any questions, throw them in the comments. I'll see you in the next one.